I'm not alone. I'm not just floating. I'm not just an entity that's floating around in the world. You know what I mean? Hello. Today is day 74. Day 74. And by our countdown, we are now 26 days more. Yes, and today we are going to talk about the power of community. Yes, the power of community. So yesterday I was talking about the power of celebration, and I remember talking about how Africans, when we want to do graduation, the whole community is going to show up, and that just started me thinking about the power of community, how powerful community is in our lives. And so we just quickly define community as a group of people that share the same belief, the same values, the same interests, and probably live in the same community. I remember live in the same location. I remember in social studies, I was thinking of the definition they gave me in my elementary school. It included people that live in the same community, the same location, geographical location. But these days, we all know that that's no longer relevant. A community could live in the same geographical location or not, because with the advent of the internet, we know that communities are built across geographical spectrum, so you don't necessarily have to live in the same area to be a community. So so that's a community, which people that share the same interests, and they have the same vibe, they are the same tribe. So yes, and community is very important. You could belong to different kinds of communities because you don't necessarily have to belong to one. For example, now I could belong to a community of young mothers where what we have in common is we all have toddlers. I could belong to a community where people share the same interests as me, like maybe a community of people that love bicycling, or people that love knitting, or it could be a spiritual community like a church, a mosque, a worship house, or whatever. So we could actually belong to different communities at the same time. So yeah, so community is very important because a lot of us thrive on belonging to communities. Even though sometimes we try to do like, oh, we are individuals, we don't need anybody, we want to be alone. But human beings are communal beings. That's the way God made us. We are not meant to exist in an island, or in a vacuum. So first off, community gives us that sense of identity, that sense of belonging, that sense of I belong somewhere, that sense of groundedness, that sense of I'm not alone, I'm not just floating, I'm not just an entity that's floating around in the world. You know what I mean? So yes, that's one thing that community gives us, and it's a human need, that sense of wanting to belong to somewhere, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be loved. So it helps with our mental health when we belong to a community. The second thing community, does that makes it so powerful in our lives is that it gives us that support. When we need support, every human being needs support at one time or the other. Either it's spiritual support, either it's financial support, either it's mental support, either it's just that, that support. We find it in our communities, and everybody needs support. Everybody needs support. And another thing community does for us is encouragement. We are encouraged when we are down. There are some times in life that we are down. We need that pep talk. We need that encouragement. We need that motivation. It's in our communities that we find that motivation, that pep talk, that encouragement, that person that tells you you can move on, you can do it. So we get that in our community. And I've talked a lot in this channel about networking. It's in our community that we also get networking. We get information We get people that connect us to opportunities. We've talked about the power of networking. If you've not watched those videos, they are linked in the show notes below or the description box below. So do catch up with all those videos. So yeah, in our communities we get network, we get information, we get support, and that keeps us going. It keeps us, moving towards the actualization of our goals in life. Another thing that I see that community does that makes it so powerful is we have people that we can be accountable to. And I think from the beginning of the series, this videos, I talked about the power of accountability. And if you've not watched that one again, do go and watch. We have so many videos on the channel now, so you should just go and binge watch everything, right? Yes, binge watch it. So the power of accountability, yeah, I have that video. Accountability is very, very important because it helps us in our journey also to fulfillment of our goals. So yes, we need accountability in our lives, and this is one of the things that community does for us. Accountability. It's very windy again today. It's just windy these days. So yes, community is very, very, very powerful and important for us in our lives. And one more thing that I think community does to us, that I've been thinking about this one, that may be positive or negative, is that community determines the way we think, the way we see life, the way we view life. This is because inside of our communities, that's when we get a lot of information that kind of shapes our attitude and our beliefs about life. And also, most of the time in a community, there's a kind of degree of values or norms that you are expected to follow. Somehow, there's a way you're supposed to think, there's a way you're supposed to believe or see things for you to belong to a community. I mean, I don't know. Let me know your comments in the comment section. Well, if you belong to a community, do you not see that you kind of tend to start thinking the same? Because inside of that community, you have people that you respect. You kind of learn from them consciously or unconsciously. Maybe they are peers, maybe they are just older people or younger people. Somehow you kind of begin to adopt the behavior and the attitude of your community. Yeah, you get information from them, you stay with them for a long time. You mostly get your thinking pattern from the way your community is thinking. And why I said this could be negative or positive is that I was just thinking that sometimes this encourages group thinking, where you kind of lose your individuality, where you cannot think by yourself anymore. You just naturally think this is the way it is, and you don't think again. You don't sit down to think about things anymore. You now just follow the group think. I think this could be positive or negative. I don't know. Please let me know your comments in the comment section. This part of community, I don't know, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Or do you think I'm just wrong in this? Let me know in the comment section. So yeah, these are the things that I see that community does for us in shaping our lives, in making us who we are. So the question now is, what communities do you belong to? Do you belong to a community? And another question I want to ask is, how has community shaped you in your life? And do you think groupthink is a thing? Am I tripping? These are my thoughts, and I just want you to share your opinion in the comment section. And yeah, so that's the end of what I have for us today. And I'm just going to encourage you as a community, because we are a community here. Let's bond together, let's comment, let's share, let's like these videos so that the community can increase as well. And so yeah, I've come to the end of today's video, and let's see how far we've gone. 32 minutes. And so I'm going to see you when I'm done. I'm back. Yes, today we've talked about the power of community, and I've asked a lot of questions. I need to know your thoughts, your opinion in the comment section below. Let's see how far we've gone. 70 minutes. I don't know if you saw that. That's 70 minutes. So, yeah, I just want to take the time out today to thank you, my community. You are parts of this community. You're a valuable member of this community. This YouTube channel, we're a community. We encourage each other. We share our thoughts. So I just want to say thank you very much for being a valuable member of this community. And I also want to ask you that very important question. Have you gone on your walk today? Let me know your answer in the comment section. So that's it for today, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye.